Today, we are speaking with Travis Murdock. Travis has spent over 20 years working with technology innovators to build their brand and tell their stories. He has had a widely successful communications career with both in-house corporations as well as leading agencies, working with clients such as J&J, Juniper Networks, Polycom, Hootsuite, and so many more. Travis is now the executive vice president and general manager of the United States with Sonus PR. Travis, thank you for joining us on Career Wanderlust Podcast.
Thank you, Jolie.
Travis, you have great experience all throughout your career in communications. I would love to know what has been one of your favorite pieces of career advice and why?
Yeah, thank you very much. So from a career perspective, something that I have found to be extremely helpful is to regularly stay connected to those who you have worked with in the past. And it feels like a little bit of kind of obvious advice, but there's many ways you can do it that are authentic and meaningful. We're in a world where many of us don't live where we started our career, or we've migrated, we're working remotely. So it's actually becomes much more important to find authentic ways to connect. And the way that I do that is a few ways. First of which is that, everybody loves to hear happy birthday. So I do make it a point with, pretty much everybody that's in my Rolodex to wish them a happy birthday. That's public information. Facebook, Instagram, all those things remind you that it's somebody's birthday. So you just take advantage of that. It doesn't need to be deep. It just needs to be hello. But I can't tell you how many times that has led to, oh, Travis, I have this problem. Can you help me? Or, oh, we have this project to work on. Or, do you know someone that can help me with this? That creates deeper meaningful relationships. The second thing is I tell everyone I work with, from the software engineer all the way to the CEO, that they have free PR and marketing advice for life. So when maybe if I'm working at a PR firm and our project with them has ended, I've built a personal relationship with whoever that CMO or the head of PR is. I will tell them, hey, I love working with you, and you have free PR advice for life. I can't tell you how many CEOs have called me a few years later and said, hey, I want to cash in on your promise. I hope you really meant it.
I love this.
So, and I do mean it. And I give them free advice. And if it's right for us to have an engagement, we will start that. But I can tell you that the biggest jobs I've gotten in my career, the biggest clients, the most meaningful work that I've done has been because somebody called me to solve a problem. We started to help them solve it, and then it turned into something that was meaningful from a career.
Well, it's one of the universal truths in life, right? That when you decide to help somebody else, you end up helping yourself. And it's
That's right.
something comes through that, but it is absolutely a truth. So I love that. That was a great example. And you know what? And I mean, just keeping in connection with people throughout your past is great advice, and something that I would say a huge percentage of us probably are not doing. It is a very simple thing to do, and it is all about the people. And like you said, you just never know when people from your past will pop up with different opportunities. So thank you. Really, really simple, but good. Great advice. Now, I would love to hear a story. Could you tell me something, a story about an impactful lesson or an event that happened in your work? Tell us what happened and what did you learn from it?
Yeah, so this one's from very early in my career, and it really set the tone for a whole bunch of things that came after that. I worked in a startup in the late 90s, and I had been on a press tour for about 3 weeks, 18 days of being in a different city every single day across Europe. And, we were introducing a new product, and that software product was really cool. I mean, it was really cool. Like the things that it was going to do were exciting. And I got a lot of attention from reporters. I was on some radio programs. And for someone early in their career, like that was
Mhm.
also me, right? Like
Yeah.
I was projecting myself into each of those. Those were relationships with many reporters all across Europe, which is where I had focused my effort at that time. And I got home from that press tour. I came into work the next day and I was told in a meeting that we are going to cancel the product.
Oh,
We're not going to ship it. And I said, why didn't somebody call me while I
yeah.
was on this press tour? And they're like, well, we
Yeah.
didn't want to bug you. And I literally was like, what are you talking about? Bug me?
Yeah.
That's why I'm there. But the reason I was a little bit upset. And the reason I was
Yeah.
upset was because it was me, right, who was there in front. So
Mhm.
lesson number one was I was
Mm.
able to pull that together and not be me. And they said, we luckily hadn't actually shipped any of the product, but many people had it on review. So all the
Mhm.
reporters that I had spoken to had it on review. And I stayed up for 24 hours and I called all the publications myself across Europe and let them know that I'm sorry that
Good.
you've reserved space in your publication for this story, but we're going to pull it. Some were very angry. And
Mhm.
I had been on a German radio program and I had, touted the benefits of this thing. And they were very angry. And they said to me, like, why did you do this? And I just said, frankly, it's because it doesn't work. Most people who use it, it'll work just fine. But about 5%, it will delete their entire computer.
Oh,
And and so we
yeah.
can't in good conscience promote this product. Now, this was a startup, so remember also, like, this could ruin the entire company. But I
Yeah.
was encouraged by my CEO, who was a great man, great mentor, to just be honest, like to
Mhm.
be real honest, like honestly honest. And so I did. And that next month, every single publication put out some sort of little story, usually in the editor's notes up front, that said, you know, this company has pulled their product, but we, really trust them because they
Mm.
pulled it before they made the money and they lost all the money. And, it was really wonderful for me as a thing to learn that being honest to a fault there almost, right, was meant a lot to them. And it earned me pretty good reputation with them. So when the next product, we didn't go out of business, although it
Mhm.
cost us $5 million. But next time I went to them, I had no problem setting up meetings.
I
I
love
just
this.
called them and they said absolutely. And so it was one of those really important lessons in my career.
Oh, yeah. No, that gave me a little bit of chills because that's just a really we need that lesson right now, particularly if I'm
Yeah,
just gonna say that,
yeah,
pure honesty across the board, and I agree, I believe truly that pure honesty, pure transparency is how you whatever it is, it's gonna raise higher. It's all gonna raise higher when you have that honesty, when you have that transparency, because it's exactly what happened. People trust. I love it.
yeah,
So tell me a little bit about Sonus. I mean, what are
yeah.
why would people want to know about Sonus PR? What are the type of people that do well? I mean, what do you look for in talent? Give us a little bit of information about the company.
So the company's been around for about 18 years. We focus on cutting edge B2B tech only. So
Hmm.
everything that we're doing is about um, telling the stories of those very deep technologies like
Mm,
space rockets or 5G or cybersecurity or um, data storage, lots of work around AI. So these are technologies that sometimes don't just tell their story themselves, right?
right.
They need real storytellers, and so that's the
Hmm.
first thing that we're looking for. We're looking both for clients and for people who love to get in and tell that story. Now, of course, we're not. Even the most detail technical customer doesn't needs to hear a story in a simple way.
Hmm.
So it really is that translation of the story. And then finding the thread. Enterprise companies, they can have a tendency to get in the middle of their own story because they tell it every day and they kind of
Yeah.
forget how it fits into the whole
Yeah.
trend. So that's what we do really well. And the second thing that we do is we're not guessing, we know. We're doing research to know what moves your market. It's not something that lots of PR firms are good at, but we've created our own system of software in-house that allows us to see which types of news stories are actually moving sales inside your organization. And we've built that in-house, and that's something that we use to help steer the storytelling with our clients.
Amazing. Yes, that sounds
Yeah.
very interesting and very helpful for your clients. And I'm sure you're having to take very technical aspects and make them interesting, essentially, correct?
That's right. I mean,
Yeah.
if you think about just take an example of something that we're all hearing about, which is AI and generative AI and where that's going. Yeah, it's really caught the imagination
Mhm.
of a lot of people, which is exciting. But at the same time, very quickly, you're trying to how does it work? How is it ethical?
Yeah.
How is it
So many questions.
actually worth the money?
Mhm.
Where is this going? Do I need to get involved?
Yeah.
Those are questions and stories that when you start to reflect, who's the audience? What are their daily problems? What problems are
Mhm.
they facing? And then create stories that address those problems. Then you're at the real heart of how you tell technology stories.
Great.
Um,
Mhm.
and so I love to do that. For
Yeah.
me, that's the moment when I realized, I just loved marketing and PR, was because I got to sit down, figure out where the thread is, what's the interesting thing, and then
Mhm.
tell it.
I
So
love it. Yeah.
we're a wonderful house of senior practitioners, and we're all remote too.
Mhm.
So
Are you
that's
primarily senior? So for people who might be
um,
looking for new opportunities.
we are.
Mhm.
So that deep storytelling
Mhm.
takes a little bit of experience, both in
Does.
business and in technology,
Yeah.
to be able to tell it. So that's generally where we hire, but we do hire anywhere. So
Mhm.
nobody lives in the same state. Nobody even lives in the same time zone. So we got people from Australia, all the way
Fantastic.
across to London.
Fantastic. A very diverse set of thinkers. So I
Yes.
bet that is very beneficial too for your clients.
Yeah.
S- Great. And Travis, I'd love to know, last question. Is there anything that you've read, anything you've watched that has had a significant impact on your own either life or career that you think other people could benefit from?
Yeah, I want to go kind of really tactical, practical on
Do
this.
it. Yeah.
Um, when I was about mid-career, I found I really hit this wall, and it almost felt like a physical wall, but it was literally I couldn't do all the things I needed to do. There was too much to do,
Mhm.
and I couldn't be successful. I couldn't show my worth. I couldn't, there wasn't enough time,
Mhm.
and I I just was really struggling. And I read the book, which is old and seasoned book, which is called Getting Things Done. And that book transformed my career. It's very tactical. So this is
Mhm.
very tactical advice, which is read a book, but it's not about the theory of doing things.
Mhm.
It's about organizing things in your mind so they come out of your mind and into your plan.
Ooh.
And once you get things into a plan, then you don't have to worry about them. I instantly saw transformation.
I
And I'd
love.
really suggest to all my early career folks, even later career, if you feel overwhelmed, dip in to that book.
Mhm.
I got to meet the author of that book, about 5 years ago.
Mhm.
And, he hears people fawning over him all the time. But I have to say that, it was a moment where I could say to him, look, I know you've been through a lot of pain, but you changed my life. Thank you. And that was good. Anyway, I'm an advocate there. So that's
Great
my piece
endorsement.
of advice.
Look,
Yeah.
if you can read a book and it can have an impact on you immediately following, that is, I mean, that's the most you can ask for out of a book. So I actually have not read that book myself. It's going on my list. I appreciate that. I'm an avid reader, so I
Yes.
love getting new suggestions. Thank you.
So
Travis,
read the book all the way before you try to do anything. So, because you'll just be frustrated. Read the whole book first.
that's good. Good to know. Well, and when you learn how to plan, when you learn how to formulate that process in your own mind, you can apply that to anything. And so it helps you elevate yourself throughout life in a variety of different ways, I would imagine.
Wonderful.
So Travis, thank you for joining us on Career Wanderlust. I really appreciate your time. It's been wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on the Career Wanderlust podcast. If you find value in learning from others, give us a like and subscribe. If you're looking to grow your communications, marketing, public relations, or sales and biz dev team with the best talent and quickly, check us out at paradigmstaffing.com and submit a request. We are wishing you a most successful and fulfilling career. Until next time.